What's up, everybody? Ruben Garcia with Fayetteville here, and there are 5 buildings downtown going up for sale, if they're not already for sale as of today. We are in April 2024, and since these have gone up for sale, or even just the verbiage going through the streets, it is coming back to me. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to do a video on this. I will give a huge shout out to CityView, who has covered this piece. And I'm going to be reading a lot of their stuff and including just a few other things as well. But as we go through this, let me know if you have any questions, if you know any buyers honestly looking to buy it. I'm here for it, so just let me know. Without further ado, let's get into it. I do want to say right here, big shout out to Paul Wolverton with CityView. He is a senior reporter and he went over a lot of this stuff. So again, let's get into it. It says right here, the 5 large buildings are for sale along Hay Street and Person Street corridor in downtown Fayetteville. Yes, we do know that now, don't we? Including the former Prince Charles Hotel. And the 6th one, the former AIT building, was almost sold in March, but it didn't get sold. So I do want to start off by saying this. Check it out. We did a podcast called the Proven by Ruben podcast with his name was Jordan Jones. And him and his group were purchasing the Prince Charles at the time. If you do want to check out that episode, check it out here or there, or I put it somewhere and also in the description below. You can check it out. It's pretty cool. You get the story of what that mindset was and even purchasing the Prince Charles. So there that is. So you might be asking yourself, which of these 5 are for sale at the moment? So we know the Prince Charles, but let's get a little bit more into it. You got the 8-story former Prince Charles Hotel on 400 block, which we talked a little bit about that. It was opened in 2019 and was reopened as an apartment building with the retail space on the ground. Now, the 4-story Huske hardware house building, which I've been getting the most traffic and conversation about this one, also on 400 block. They've been owned by the Bragg family for a long time. Now, the building between the Huske hardware restaurant and the city hall, that building is almost going to be sold will be sold as a package deal with Huske hardware. It does have a large parking lot in the back as well. You also have the beautiful 4-story Robert C. Williams Business Center going up for sale as well. I just did a YPN which is the Young Professional Network trivia session where I hosted it for our local association. Check out the pictures. We just did it in that building. Beautiful building, beautiful scenery off the balcony I believe we're on the 4th floor. It's a beautiful building. And I'm excited to see who the new owners are. But inside this building at the moment, the tenants include law firms, the Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Corporation, and the Fayetteville Bureau of Television Station ABC 11. Also, the Lawyers Building at 101 Gillespie Street on the Market House Square, the 5-story building is vacant and is going up for sale. And it does go on to say that it is a positive trend that some of these are going up for sale because of just how much they were renovated before going up for sale. And it also goes into just how much the price per square foot has risen almost 41% since January 2014, which is awesome, which is also showing just the accelerated growth of not only downtown Fayetteville, but Fayetteville as a whole. It has, for example, went up about $104 to $141 per square foot in some of these buildings. All right, let's move to the Prince Charles. So it is going up for sale, and they're saying it's getting a bodega, which is kind of cool. It's a 59-unit residence at Prince Charles apartment building. As some of you may have seen it, it is beautiful. I think it's got that really cool older aesthetic on the outside that they kept, and as you go in, obviously updated. So they go on to say that the sale will help Jones and his partners pursue their plans to build the 212-unit Stadium View Lofts apartment building. So huge undertaking coming up, which is probably a reason why they need to pull some of the capital out to fund this new project. And if you go back to that podcast that I was mentioning earlier, he actually talks about this, which is cool because he talks about building it on top of the neighboring parking deck at 466 Hay Street. But he's been talking about this for a while, which is cool. I don't remember if in the podcast he talks about this, but it was a $19.3 million project to uplift the Prince Charles into the apartment complex that it is now, along with the commercial properties that are at the bottom of the Prince Charles as well. And what's great is all 5 of those commercial spaces are 100% leased right now. So whoever picks this up, they're going to be in a good position. Obviously, you can't go wrong with some real estate either, and especially in a growing market. But I'll say they're also looking at these stadium lofts. That is a $60 million project, which again is an expensive high-rise construction, which is forcing them to continue to get creative to find a path to move it forward as soon as possible, which again, I'm super excited to see that. So they go on. What's for sale here? A 59-unit apartment building at 450 Hay Street with the retail space on the ground floor. Remember, 100% leased at the moment. They do not have an asking price at the moment either. And in other news, the nearby Festival Park Plaza office building at 225 Ray Street became 100% leased in January. Jones said it was distressed, quote unquote, less than 65% occupied when he and his partners acquired it from the city, which was April 2018, according to the county records. If you want, again, really cool thing, go back to that podcast and check it out. Now here goes a family story with the Huske buildings. Joe and Ben Baggett's ancestor, Benjamin R. Huske, opened his hardware store on the 400 block of Hay Street in the early 1900s. After downtown Fayetteville declined in the 1970s and 80s as retailers moved out, Joe and Ben parents, Joseph Baggett and Hannah Huske Baggett, in June 1997, opened the Huske Hardware House in the family's old building. It was the city's first brew pub. Little history lesson. And it was one of the pioneer businesses and efforts to revitalize the downtown area. They also, like I said earlier, own that building next door, which does have retail leases in it at the moment. So things didn't work out. Let's put it that way, Baggett said. The restaurant and brew pub just needed more energy and financial backing to do the items that needed to be done in the building. And it's time for a change and some new energy. And you know, it's all about trying to make it move forward, and that was getting stagnant. Interesting, man, because my family and I actually loved Huske Hardware. We didn't have any issues there. We actually had some meetups called Cash Flow Couples. We'd have meetups there, along in other restaurants as well, but we had them there, no issues. Great food, great service, but obviously they know what's going on the back end more than we do, and they did shut down. Let's see, it looks like they took back the space on April 15th in 2024. So only less than 10 days ago. So what's for sale? The 405 and 417 Hay Street, restaurant spaces plus retail and office space, and space prepared to be converted to residential use. Also includes a large parking lot that could be developed as well, which sounds like opportunity. Asking price $4.65 million. And what's for rent? The former Huske Hardware House restaurant and tap room brewery, including the furnishings and equipment, asking $15,000 per month for 19,620 square feet. There you go. And of course, let me know, one, if you're interested or if you know somebody who's interested in purchasing this property. Two, if you do find out who this is, and of course they don't work with us, that's totally fine. I still would like to do a piece on them for Find Fayetteville. Actually, any of these buildings. But this one, again, my family and I went to this one a lot, so I would really love to do this. Then you have the former AIT building that almost sold. A year after buying the largely vacant AIT building on Hay Street and Maiden Lane for $2.24 million, the new owners, World Class ROI of Houston and Smooth Ruckus LLC of Sheridan, Wyoming, not Wilmington, came close to auctioning it off in late March for $3 million, said Sam McGrath, one of the partners in the projects. The deal fell through, though, of course. Now, McGrath, I don't say of course like that, I'm just saying, we're reading about it going up for sale again, so it did fall apart. Now, McGrath and his partners are continuing efforts to get tenants. They came close last year to landing a tenant that needed a space for about 200 workers, McGrath said, and he is still waiting to see what the company plans to do. Meanwhile, the building remains home to advanced internet technologies and the Stadium Event Center. Soul Arcade plus Tap Room plans to open there in May. There you go. All right, so what are some of the property details? Where? 420 Hay Street. Size, 93,000 square feet of office and retail space. There you go. It was just 420 3 days ago. It is April 23rd today. Get your mind out of your gutter. Get your mind out of the gutter. And let me know if you know somebody's interested in this property as well. And then you have the Robert C. Williams Business Center. Again, I just hosted a YPN trivia night, trivia day at that building. Really cool space, no issues at all, beautiful sites, beautiful building, So I'm interested to hear more about this. The PWC Commission, or Public Work Commission, opened the Robert C. Williams Business Center at 201 Hay Street in the year 2000. Who remembers the year 2000? Where were you? What were you doing in the year 2000? What were you doing when the ball dropped for the year 2000? That's interesting. The office building served for a time as the customer service center for the city-owned electric, water, and sewer utility service, PWC. PWC decided in 2021 to put the building on the market. It's been listed for $5.9 million. PWC advertised last summer it had received a bid for $5.1 million, and it was open to bidders who wanted to offer more. A bid was recently withdrawn, so this is why it's back up for sale. So let's get into the property details. So what's for sale? A 57,000 square foot office building at 201 Hay Street with several tenants, including law firms and a TV station news bureau. Asking price, almost $6 million, $5.9 million. And like the other ones, please let me know if you know someone who's interested in checking out this building. Of course, we'd love to show it to them. Hope that they're interested. And if not, that's fine for the person who does end up buying it. Again, let me know. I'd love to do a piece on what they're going to put inside that building, or even their vision for that building and ultimately downtown Fayetteville. That brings us to the last one, the Lawyers Building. The 5-story Lawyers Building on the Market House Square has been vacant for some time. Some of its ground floor windows are boarded up, and paperwork taped to the front door says the window glass is being replaced because of the old glass was too small for the window frames. Built in 1916, it holds a special place as Fayetteville's inaugural skyscraper and is listed on the National Register, says its advertising listing. The listing says also it requires a comprehensive upfit across all floors. How cool is it for anybody who is going to be bidding on this to know that you have the inaugural skyscraper in Fayetteville? Like, that's a great piece of history, and honestly, probably a branding point, because I didn't know that until reading that. So to bring that into your business, whoever this is going to be, and use that as a marketing ploy to get more people in the building, either it be tenants or however you're going to use this, I think it's going to be pretty cool. So please do that. Please do that. So let's move on to the property details. What's for sale? A 10,725 square foot, 5-story building at 101 Gillespie Street. Its potential uses include retail, office, and residential space, or a mixture of these. Dude, you can do whatever you want. Asking price $2.65 million. And I do want to finish this by saying thank you to senior reporter Paul Wolverton. And as you can see right there, his phone number and his email where he could be reached. I very much appreciate this, because this has allowed me to see what's going on, and I just want to get it out to more of the public. You did great. Love the detail that you put in here, and I'm excited for anyone else who may have some more information about these properties as well, because I want to get more details on it. I want to learn more about it. I want to push it out to the people, and obviously, let's see if we can find any buyers for these properties as well. So, if you enjoyed this, thank you so much. I would love to know some of the memories that you've had in some of these buildings. Put it in the comments below. I want to learn more about that. I want to learn more history about Fayetteville and these buildings. And once I heard Huske was going up for sale, and then the business center, I was like, man, I really want to talk more about this and hear other stories from other people. And maybe we can help find a great buyer that's going to help uplift and keep this Fayetteville train moving forward. I want to be part of that too. So selfishly, right? But I hope you got something out of this. I hope you learned something out of this. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. But till then, get out there and go find Fayetteville.